I think he's certainly, again, I talked about the human element. He's certainly felt what AR and Luka feel at times. He's been a high usage player and the number one option his whole career. And I know he wants to win and he wants to do everything possible to help this team win, even if it looks a little bit differently. And he had to make some sacrifices when we traded for Luka last year. And he understands how important it is for Luka and AR to have time on the ball, and that, you know, the realistic thing is that when they're on the court together, that's going to take away time on the ball from him. I thought his screening tonight and getting in the pocket, you know, and scoring there, making plays out of that was great. Crashed a couple times. He just had a, you know, he ended up with 18, 7, 7.
JJ Redick may have just said something on live television that could follow him for the rest of his coaching career. During a post-game discussion about the Lakers' recent success, the head coach made a comment that instantly caught everyone's attention. He didn't say it directly. He didn't frame it as criticism. But if you listen carefully, the message was impossible to miss. The Lakers seem to play smoother when LeBron James isn't on the floor. Redick tried to soften the statement with talk about human elements and pecking orders. But behind all the careful wording was a simple reality that fans immediately noticed. The Lakers are 14-7 this season without their biggest star. That raises an uncomfortable question. Should a coach ever publicly acknowledge that his team might function better without its best player? Or is honesty sometimes the worst thing you can say in professional sports?
Just like Luka and Austin Reeves did tonight for the Lakers. Another big win, back-to-back nice statement wins, if you would. After a cold, slow start, we talked about it at halftime, both teams, really. It was tied at 45 apiece. Big game in the third. The Lakers opened this one up, outscored the Timberwolves by 16 in that quarter alone. You had his 54th 30-point triple-double for Luka. 31, 11, and 11. Austin Reeves, he had 31 as well. They combined for 60.
Let's look at what happened in the most recent game. The Lakers just secured another impressive victory, beating the Minnesota Timberwolves 120-106. At halftime, the game was tight. Both teams were tied at 45 points, and it looked like it could go either way. But everything changed in the third quarter. The Lakers exploded offensively and outscored Minnesota by 16 points, completely taking control of the game. Luka Doncic delivered another historic performance, recording his 54th career 30-point triple-double with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Austin Reeves was just as impressive, finishing with 31 points, with 29 of those coming in the second half. Together, Luka and Reeves combined for 62 points, carrying the Lakers to a dominant win.
Well, they combined for 62, 29 of his 31 coming in the second half.
Now let's talk about what really happened here. Because this game reveals something deeper. The Lakers didn't just win. They looked organized. They looked comfortable. They looked like a team that knew exactly what it was doing. Austin Reeves dropped 31 points. Luka Doncic controlled the entire game with his triple-double. DeAndre Ayton added 14 points and 12 rebounds, providing a strong presence inside. Even the role players looked confident. Marcus Smart, Rui Hachimura, and Luke Kennard all played their roles perfectly. The rotation looked balanced, and everyone seemed to know exactly where they were supposed to be. And there was one more detail that stood out. LeBron James was watching from the bench in street clothes.
It is becoming abundantly clear to everyone not named LeBron James who is the real star in Los Angeles. Luka Doncic has been on an absolute heater. Last 4 games, Luka's averaging 40 points, damn near 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Unsurprisingly, Lakers are 4-0 in that stretch. And one of the reasons they are 4-0, they have been without the shadow of LeBron James.
This wasn't the first time this season either. It was the second or third game without him, and the results have been surprisingly consistent. The Lakers didn't just survive without their superstar. They thrived. The offense moved faster. The ball moved freely. Players weren't standing around waiting for one person to dominate the possession. There were no confusing rotations designed to accommodate a specific player's minutes. It was just basketball. Simple. Fluid. Functional. And for many fans watching, it was actually enjoyable.
Are the Lakers better without LeBron? Because when looking at statistics, when Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves play without LeBron James, the Lakers are 9-2 this season. The fit between Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, it just works. This is the Lakers stats when Luka and Austin are on the floor together. An offensive rating of 125.7, a defensive rating of 108.8, a net rating of plus 16.9. When all three of them are on the floor together, you can tell that the numbers tank. Even when it's just LeBron and Austin Reeves, they aren't any better. We think that Luka and LeBron would be great on the floor together, but statistically, it shows that they're not. So do you believe it that the Lakers are better without LeBron?
So naturally, reporters asked the obvious question. Are the Lakers better without LeBron? So JJ Redick faced that question during the pregame media session. And the reason reporters asked it is simple. The numbers are hard to ignore. The Lakers are 14-7 without LeBron this season. That's not a tiny sample size anymore. That's a real trend. Redick tried to answer carefully. He talked about the human element of basketball. He mentioned that players have certain expectations and roles. He explained that LeBron has spent 23 years controlling the offense, scoring more points than anyone in NBA history. But Luka Doncic is also used to being the primary ball handler, with multiple All-NBA selections. And Austin Reeves has grown into a near all-star level player who also needs the ball to be effective. Redick described it as a natural pecking order problem that every team with multiple stars eventually faces. It sounded diplomatic. It sounded professional. But when you strip away the coach speak, the message became obvious. When LeBron isn't playing, Luka and Reeves get to run the offense naturally. And the team looks more comfortable because of it.
James is not on the basketball court.
That just doesn't work. And when the three of them are together, it's getting better. And JJ Redick, he would say, give me some more time. We're making improvements. But they don't have more time. Austin Reeves and LeBron James are free agents at the start of the season. The data points say they are better off with Luka and Reeves now and probably going forward.
Here's the wild part. Redick might actually be right. The evidence keeps piling up. Earlier in the season, the Lakers started strong without LeBron. Then he returned, and the team's rhythm began to change. Now that he's out again, the Lakers are back to winning convincingly. At some point, people start asking a difficult question. What if the issue isn't the supporting cast? What if the problem is the fit? LeBron is now 40 years old, and he has spent his entire career controlling the ball and dictating the pace of the offense. But this roster already has players who need that same role. Luka Doncic thrives when the offense runs through him. Austin Reeves is most effective when he's involved in playmaking. Trying to balance all three players creates a complicated dynamic. And that puts JJ Redick in a nearly impossible position. If he truly believes the team performs better with a different structure, then the logical move would be to reduce LeBron's role. Maybe limit his minutes. Maybe change the offense. But this isn't just any player. This is LeBron James. Benching him, or even reducing his role, would create a massive controversy. So the Lakers remain stuck in a strange situation. Everyone can see the pattern. Fans see it. Media analysts see it. Even the coach might see it. But no one is willing to make the decision that could truly test the theory. And when LeBron eventually returns, the real question will be simple. Will the Lakers keep the system that's working? Or will they go back to the one built around their biggest star?
Reeves, in and out dribble, kick out, Reeves beyond the arc. Now it's Reeves, lost the handle, got it back.
Here Austin Reeves is playing like a legitimate star. Luka Doncic is putting up video game numbers. The role players are comfortable in their roles. The team has an identity. They know exactly who they are and how they want to play. And then LeBron comes back, and suddenly all of that gets thrown out the window. The offense has to adjust again. The system has to bend around someone who doesn't naturally fit the flow the same way anymore. And whether he intended to or not, JJ Redick essentially admitted that in his comments. He talked about the human struggle in basketball, wanting what you want while also having the emotional maturity to recognize there are other stars on the court next to you. That sounds philosophical, but in coaching language it means something very specific. It means players sometimes have to sacrifice the way they naturally play for the sake of the hierarchy. Redick also mentioned that things haven't been as clean when all three stars share the court. That's basically acknowledging that the chemistry still isn't right. And when he pointed out that there's a clear pecking order when Luka and Austin play alongside low-usage role players, he was highlighting something fans have already noticed. The team simply functions more smoothly in that structure. But the most revealing moment came when Redick said, "We're going to get there." Because that statement carries an important implication. It means they haven't gotten there yet. It means the big three still isn't working the way everyone expected. Meanwhile, the numbers are already giving them the answer. The Lakers are 14-7 without LeBron this season. That's not a coincidence. That's not a random stretch of games. That's a pattern. But Redick can't say the obvious solution out loud. He can't stand in front of the media and suggest benching one of the greatest players in NBA history. So instead, he talks about human elements, emotional maturity, and pecking orders, hoping everyone understands what he really means. Right now the Lakers sit fourth in the Western Conference with a 40-25 record. They're tied with the Timberwolves, the same team they just beat, and they might even hold the tiebreaker. That's a solid position. That's a team that could make real noise in the playoffs. But the real question comes when LeBron returns. If the team regresses. If the chemistry suddenly looks off again. If they start losing games they should win. What does JJ Redick do? Does he make the difficult basketball decision? Does he limit LeBron's minutes? Does he prioritize winning over legacy management? Probably not. Because that's not how the NBA works. That's not how LeBron works. And historically, that's not how the Lakers organization works either. They'll continue playing LeBron heavy minutes out of respect. They'll keep trying to make the system revolve around him. And if the season ends earlier than expected, everyone will start asking the same question. What would have happened if they simply stuck with what was already working? Real Lakers fans are probably watching all of this in frustration. They see Austin Reeves flourishing. They see the chemistry when LeBron sits. They see the pace, the ball movement, the confidence. And some of them are probably thinking the same thing. Let the younger core lead. Let Luka and Austin define the identity of the team. But they also know that's unlikely to happen. Because this is still LeBron James we're talking about. And you don't simply bench a living legend. The frustrating part is that this roster actually has something special developing. Luka and Austin clearly complement each other. Their chemistry feels natural. They could easily become the foundation of the next era of Lakers basketball. But instead, the team will probably keep trying to force the Big Three experiment to work even though the evidence keeps suggesting it hasn't worked yet. What makes Redick's comments so unusual is that coaches almost never acknowledge something like this publicly. It's the kind of thought you keep inside the locker room. But Redick said it indirectly, carefully, but clearly enough for people to notice. And now that the coach has acknowledged the same pattern fans have been seeing, the decision to keep playing LeBron heavy minutes becomes even harder to defend. This entire situation is a perfect example of how legacy and politics can sometimes override pure basketball logic. The solution seems simple. Play the players who work best together. Build your system around the group with the best chemistry. Develop the younger stars who fit the style of play. But when the player involved is the all-time leading scorer, nothing is ever that simple. So instead, everyone performs this awkward balancing act. The Lakers keep winning without LeBron. Redick keeps giving carefully worded interviews. Fans keep noticing the same pattern. And when LeBron inevitably returns, everyone will once again pretend to be surprised if the team struggles. Because the Lakers being 14-7 without him isn't a fluke. It's the team revealing who they are when they're allowed to play their natural style of basketball. And whether he meant to or not, JJ Redick just said the quiet part out loud. The Lakers might actually be better without their biggest star. If you want more breakdowns of the NBA's most controversial situations, hit the like button and subscribe, because this conversation about the Lakers is far from over. Basketball.